happens, right? And okay, now my 3 channels on the right just decided to go live 30 seconds after this one. So I'm just going to roll with it. But what I want to talk about in that room, it was going over great quotes. And the quote about healing that I spoke about was, you got to feel it to heal it. And you really do. And the reason why that's so important, those of you that have been following the magical movement know how deeply our heart is around plant medicines, around psychedelics, around destigmatizing psychedelics and plant medicine, and educating them on how they're sacred and how they are these teachers. And they've been teachers for so many years, for thousands and thousands of years, but they've been stigmatized heavily. But they can be just beautiful proponents. Now, they don't do the work for you. You have to go back to actually feel the things to process them. Okay, so let's go over that. Hey, what's up, Luca? What's up, Luca? Good to see you. So when you go through some kind of trauma or something difficult as a child or even as an adult, because those of you that were on my live last night, you know that this last ayahuasca ceremony I was at, I thought I pretty much processed my traumas, and it brought me back to a trauma I had with my father that I didn't know was still bothering me. And that was a trauma I had in my mid to late 20s. So it doesn't have to be as a child. It can definitely be as an adult as well. But when you go through something traumatic, a lot of times it's so difficult on the body and the mind. It's so difficult on the mind. The brain doesn't know how to process it, and it tries to protect you. So then it disassociates from that experience. So you have something difficult that happens, some kind of traumatic thing that happens to you, right? Now, once that traumatic things happen, again, your brain is trying to, trying to click it here. Your brain is trying to protect yourself, so it disassociates so you don't have to feel that initial pain, which in the moment sounds good. The problem with that is, as time goes on, that energy of that trauma is still in your body. That energy of that abuse is still in your body, and it could just start out as anxiety, and then it'll grow to depression, and it can grow into bouts of rage. Last night, if you didn't listen last night, we did a really good talk on entity removals, and we talked a bit about spiritual warfare, and we talked about the entities that attach. So if you didn't hear that, go back to the video yesterday. We posted a lot of good information about entity removal. We're not talking about that tonight. I really want to focus on the feel it to heal it quote that we just spoke about in Dane Cook's room on Clubhouse. I see Elena's on here. Thank you, Elena. Elena has been telling me time and time again to get on Clubhouse, and I super appreciate all the constant support and gratitude and just constant support that we get from Elena. Elena McLean is amazing. If you were looking for a badass transformational coach, go to Elena McLean's profile. She's on Instagram right now. But anyway, so you separate from that experience, right? If you don't feel that over time, you are going to get dis-ease in the body. And that's what happened. Those of you that know Megan's story, that's what happened to Megan. She had severe childhood abuse. And of course, as a child especially, a child's brain doesn't know how to handle abuse. It doesn't know how to handle sexual abuse. It doesn't know how to handle physical abuse. So children disassociate from that. And that energy is in their little bodies. And as they get older, they wonder why they have anxiety. They have rage. They have depression. And then it literally can turn into physical illness. That's the crazy thing people don't understand. It can literally turn into physical illness. That's what happened to Megan. A lot of her healing, where she had to go back and process and heal things, a lot of it turned into physical illnesses that are gone now. They're gone, and they're gone forever. And it's amazing. But the process of learning how to heal these things it took years, and it took multiple medicines, and it took her going within and being the warrior she is to claim her power back and recreate the new stories, right? But you have to go back and feel it to heal it. There's no way around that. There's not. And society will tell you differently. Society wants you to suppress the emotion. They want you to stay drunk and in front of the news. They want you just to stay numb. They want you to go to the doctor. There's doctors that have good intentions, don't get me wrong, but they're basically indoctrinated drug dealers. They want you to go take pills to just numb everything and to get through. And there's something to be said for Western medicine. It helps you get that far. So there's no judgment in it at all. But if you want to heal, you got to go back and feel those emotions. You don't want to live your life numb. And I know that it's difficult to have to go back and face those emotions, but that's part of healing, going back and facing those difficult things, face those shadows. In these plant medicine ceremonies like ayahuasca, it's not it might not be the most glamorous thing. It can be a difficult ceremony, but it's beautiful. It's healing. It's when you come out of it so much lighter, and you come out of it with messages, and you come out of it with guidance on what your next step is, and you come out of it with blocks that are just removed from your body. I didn't know how many energetic blocks I'd had. Like, I went to this ayahuasca ceremony this past week and a half, and I was there to support my wife in one of her last stages of healing, and it was beautiful. Little did I know, Mother Ayahuasca had different plans for me as she threw me around for about 6 hours. And I mean that in the most divine, beautiful way. It wasn't comfortable at the moment, but what came out of it was all my chakras totally clear. Any fears that I was holding on to were just gone. And I just know the power of words at the deepest level. And I know the power we have to create our reality at the deepest level. Mother Ayahuasca did that for me. Luca, you said, I don't like feeling scared. I get that, right? And it's hard because we live in a fear. Much of our society is very fear-based, right? The news just tries to pump fear into you. Like, there's so many beautiful stories that could be reported, that really could be, but instead they want to keep you scared and in fear. And this is these powerful energetic blocks that hold people back from finding their healing. That's my biggest pet peeve. My biggest pet peeve really is there's so many people that could be free and could be healed and could be living a life without anxiety, without pain, without abundance blocks, but they're afraid that they're not divinely supported, so they're afraid to invest money in themselves. Or they're afraid of psilocybin mushrooms because they saw something online that says they'll make you go crazy, that was written up by a pharmaceutical company. Or they're afraid of ayahuasca because they saw something by a pharmaceutical company or WebMD that tells you one thing because they want to keep you on pills. Like, these fear-based things keep people from their healing. And I'm here to tell you, you can heal. Anyone that's listening to this that needs healing, or anyone that knows someone that needs healing, you need to know or tell them they can heal. You can live a life of no pain. You can live a life of no chest. You can live a life without having joint pain. There's all these diseases that people live with, think they have to live with. That's not true. And Elena, this is great. It says free comes from facing fear. That's absolutely right. You got to face that because you're strong enough to. You are strong enough to overcome anything that has happened to you. You really are. Every one of you have this divine, powerful light within you that's stronger than anything that's out there, that's stronger than any kind of trauma you have to face, that's stronger than anything this external world can give to you. Fear, false evidence appearing real. Yes, I love it. That's why Elena does the amazing work she does in transforming the lives that she does, because she gets this at the deepest level. And look, no one's immune to it. Like I said, I went into that ayahuasca ceremony thinking I was, hey, I'm good to go. And no, I had blocks. I had blocks in my own head of my own like divine support that was just removed. But you got to go back and feel it. The whole point of this, the message was feeling it to heal it. So if you're dealing with something and keep in mind, foundationally, hold no judgment for yourself. Don't judge yourself. If you're on pharmaceuticals or if you're afraid to face something, that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. You're not a bad person. You've done whatever, you've had to do whatever you possibly could to survive. You've had to do what you could to get this far, right? So you've had to do this, and that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. But Earth is ascending. We're all ascending. Like, if you've noticed, you've probably had people fall out of your life that used to be in your life, and you've probably had new people come into your life as you begin to grow and evolve. Everyone's ascending, and it's time for everyone to heal. It's time for this earth to heal. It's time for Mother Earth to heal. It's time for our brothers and sisters to heal. It's time for everyone to truly heal, not taking something to numb it, not continuing to just go through life just going through the motions. It's time to truly heal. Lucas says, I don't like being alone. You're never alone, my friend. You're never alone. That's one of the things that came through big in a plant medicine ceremony, one of my first ones. And it's hard to understand sometimes because we're also conditioned to only believe what we see. But man, you have a divine team that loves you, that's looking out for you, that literally guided you to listen to this message right here to let you know you're not alone, that you're looked out for. And, life, one of the things people tend to do in life is they look at something and they're like, why is this thing happening to me? Why is this happening to me? Shift that perspective. If you find yourself doing that, shift that perspective to, what is life trying to teach me right now? What is life trying to teach me right now? Shift that perspective. You're not alone, Luca. You are not alone. I promise you that. You're not. Hey, you got me. I'm here with you. You could DM me anytime. We have an incredible community on Magical. We have a 7,000 person group on Facebook that's very active. We have a Magical inner circle. It's like 20 of us that talk literally every day about stuff. So you got Magical. You got me. If you want to DM me. And I'm telling you right now, you got a divine team that if you go within, you'll feel that they're there. But you got to start looking for signs too. There's signs and messages literally all around us. All around us, there's little signs. In fact, I can't use it. It's on my phone. We go through a little mental battle every day, right? That's why morning routine is so important. That's why waking up, doing a workout, getting a meditation, and do your gratitude writing, rewrite your story, write your story over and over again until do that stuff every morning because it prepares you for your day. I went out this morning and went to my car, and there was a little feather literally on the door of my car. It was just a little feather. It was beautiful. It was amazing. I saw that, and you can look at that one of two ways. Either you can say, oh, it's a coincidence that a feather happened to just land on my car, or I can say someone's looking out for me. I was meant to see that. And it's up to you. The beauty is whatever you believe becomes true because you are the powerful manifester. You are the co-creator. You are the one creating this reality, co-creating this reality that you're experiencing every day. Luca says, how do I come down? How do I calm down? There's multiple ways. I would highly suggest meditation is a great way to start, and just short ones. You don't have to do anything crazy long, just short. People tend to have a difficult time sitting with their own thoughts because we're conditioned for distraction, constantly being distracted with what's going on, technology, this, blah, blah, blah. One way to do that is, I want to get information on the trip. Sure, DM me, namaste. I'd love to give you information on the trip to Belize. This Belize trip is going to be 150% transformative in every way for anyone that comes. You are going to come there one person. You are going to leave a free person. 100%. So DM me. I'm happy to send you information on that. We also have an early bird special where you save like $1,100 by registering. It's going to be an intimate gathering. It's not a lot of people. We have 20 world-class facilitators that are coming. They're like the best of the best. But there's going to be at the very most 15 people that we're going to be facilitating all this healing for in Belize. So DM me if you have any questions. So other ways to calm down. So start out with meditation, really. And here's another tip on that too, man. Elena said, Magical is the most supportive, encouraging team of professionals to guide your healing journey. It changed my life. Thank you, Elena. Thank you for that. I really appreciate that. We've been building this community for years, and my wife is the freaking powerhouse behind it. I give her so much credit. I'm here still learning from her every day. So thank you for that, Elena. I'm worried. You don't have to. So one good tip too, right before you go to sleep. So again, we're so conditioned for distraction, and we're conditioned into so much fear-based thinking that when people lay down, when they go to sleep at night, not all of them, but a lot of people, they let their mind wander. And when they wonder, if you haven't done the right programming, you'll worry. You'll go into fears. What if this happens? What if this happens? Financial fear, relationships, whatever. When you do that, if you do that right before you go to sleep, all that's going to do is marinate in your subconscious mind all night long. Just these fears, these negative thoughts marinating in your subconscious mind. And then people wonder why they wake up in a bad mood, right? So if you know that now, once you become aware of that, once you become aware that if what I think about right before I go to sleep is going to marinate in my subconscious mind all night, continue to program it, and that's going to partially determine how I'm going to wake up, switch it up, right? So become actionable and become intentional on right before you go to sleep. So when you go to sleep and you lay down at night, listen to something positive. Do your affirmations, do your writing. There's a really good link. So go to YouTube and put in Wayne Dyer 5 minutes before you go to sleep. Let me see if I can put that on here. me see if I can put, nope, it's not going to let me. Oh, well. Still figuring all these things out, y'all. So go to YouTube and put in Wayne Dyer 5 minutes before you go to sleep. Listen to that right before you go to sleep. I love Wayne Dyer. He's amazing. Learned a lot from him over the years, and go right before you go to sleep, put that in and listen to that. So Luca, I would definitely suggest that. And it sounds like you're going through something, brother. Just shoot me a message, okay? Shoot me a DM. I'm happy to guide you in a few really, really good, effective things you can do, that little things that can make a big difference. So DM me. I'm happy to send you some stuff, okay? DM me so I don't forget, though. So make sure you DM me, and then I'll make sure I send you that. But listen to that before you go to sleep. It's really, really powerful. I know, Stephanie, great to see you on here again. Yes, yeah, Wayne Dyer is amazing. He also has a great movie called The Shift. If you haven't watched that, go watch The Shift. Fantastic movie. It literally talks about how you can just shift your perspective and your whole world, external world, starts to change. It's really cool. But you got to feel it to heal it. The whole point of this live, why I want to jump on here for a second, I definitely I was grateful enough to connect with Dane Cook, which was awesome, and his manager, and they were talking about, oh, someone just posted it. It doesn't show me who posted it on this new this new platform I'm using, StreamYard. It's not showing me who's talking to me on Facebook here. But thank you for posting that. I really appreciate it. Yes, that's the link. Listen to that before you go to sleep. Oh, cool. Thank you. Stephanie posted on Instagram. Look at that. Y'all just helping me out all over the place. I appreciate it. So anyone on Instagram, look at Little Miss Fit Shorty. That's Stephanie. She is amazing. She's actually attended our mushroom healing ceremony. She is incredible human to follow. Also very powerful truth speaker. But she just put in, look at her comment, the YouTube link. That's a great thing to listen to right before you go to sleep. So thank you both, my Facebook people, my Instagram people. Thank you for both posting that, because save that, listen to that before you go to sleep. It's fantastic. But like I was saying, I was in a room with Dane Cook. We were talking about quotes, really good quotes, and quotes to get you through, quotes to really change your perspective. And the one I spoke about in that room was feel it to heal it. So remember that, okay? You deserve healing. You deserve freedom. It is attainable, like 100%. Like you can be free of anything you're going through 100%. But you got to go back and feel it. And that's why Magical, a big part of Magical, is dedicating themselves to these plant medicines. There will be a time, I strongly feel, as we all continue to evolve, that all we need is the power of our mind. Right now, where we're at, these medicines are incredible, beautiful teachers. Ayahuasca, I am forever grateful for ayahuasca. I am forever grateful for psilocybin. In my early days, LSD significantly helped rewire my mind to get over my addiction stuff. So these medicines, when they're used in a sacred way, when they're used respectfully, when they're used in a way with an intention of healing, can be very profound, can be very healing. They truly can. But this is also why it's very important to trust the people that are facilitating these medicines. It's very important to trust where the sources. It's very important to know all of that, right? So it's nothing to play with, right? Because there's light and dark out there, and a lot of people are using it in wrong ways, but there are people that are using it for good. And that's the reason why we created this Magical community, was to have a safe, secure, non-judgmental space where people can come and they know people are coming from light, people are coming from a place of love and non-judgment, and they can trust. Where we would never partner with medicine people that we didn't fully trust. In fact, the ayahuasca facilitators, before we brought them, that are going to be facilitating ayahuasca at our incredible Belize retreat, we sat with them first. We literally went to sit in ayahuasca with them first to experience it ourselves, so we can say, look, we have the most ultimate life experience and ultimate healing experience. And it was that I cannot fathom an ayahuasca experience more divine, more holy, and more healing than that. I just can't. So the man is amazing. So now I have all the confidence in being like, yeah, this is going to change your life. And it's not just ayahuasca with the retreat, right? We got combo, we got the mushroom ceremonies, but it's even bigger than that. We got 2 nights on the private island. It's 9 days at a beautiful resort, all healing foods. Foods are so healing too. The food you put into your body, it's either toxic or it's healing. It's one of the two. So, and if you have to eat something that isn't great, bless it with love and light, So foods are a big part. And then of course we have like the best possible facilitators coming to help. They're doing all these group meditations and yoga. These yoga instructors are just phenomenal. And it's in a beautiful place with a bunch of animals. Question, how to remove the numbness of emotions caused by traumatic experience? That's a fantastic question. I wish I could see who's asking that question. But nonetheless, actually, let me see. I think I can. Let me see who we got here. One quick second, because I want to know who is asking that. All right. Oh, here we go. Agree, yes, nope. Well, while I'm pulling that up, so the question is how to remove numbness of emotions caused by traumatic experience. That's a fantastic question. The reason why it's numb is because your mind is still protecting you from feeling that experience. It's so traumatic. It's so difficult. I mean, it could be sexual abuse. It could be physical abuse. It could be anything, right? Or like it was this deep level of abandonment I felt from my father, like this deep, deep level of abandonment I didn't even realize was in there that I felt from my father. You can't compare traumas. A trauma is a trauma. It could be losing an animal. It could be losing a loved one, like whatever. It's a trauma, right? So how to remove the numbness of emotions caused by a traumatic experience? You go back to feel it. There's a couple ways. I'm going to give you a couple ways. Now, I can only speak from my experience, right? But in my experience, we utilize breath work. Breath work can be a very powerful way. My wife facilitates pretty powerful breath work in our healing ceremony. We actually have a healing ceremony this Saturday. For anyone that's around Austin, we have, I think, 2 spots left. If anyone's around Austin, we do have a really powerful healing ceremony this Saturday in Austin. So DM me if you want questions on that. But to answer your question, if you do specific kinds of intense breath work, you're going to release DMT from your lungs, which is actually... that's the molecule for DMT. I can tell I've kind of dedicated myself to this stuff. But you create DMT from your lungs. The DMT goes up and it can go into your brain. And if you have suppressed trauma, that breath work can help you process that, especially if you're guided. That's why Megan, part of her service that she does in her ceremony, after the psilocybin set in, she does that breath work. The DMT mixes with the psilocybin, and she tells you to go back to that trauma. So you close your eyes, you go back to that trauma, and you got this beautiful natural DMT chemical kicking in, and the psilocybin's doing its just divine work, and you go back to that, and it removes those blocks, and you'll feel all of it. A lot of people process a lot. They cry, right? And crying is so beautiful and crying is so powerful. That's another stupid conditioning thing that this world has done. They've convinced people that crying is weak, especially in us men for some reason, but just in general, they've convinced people that crying is weak. And no, crying is one of the soul's way of processing emotions. That's one of the ways we process these emotions is by crying and purging and just like letting it out. So I would suggest breath work. I would also, let me see if I can see you here. I would also, I mentioned the psilocybin already. So psilocybin is a great way to go back. These plant medicines in general can be fantastic for going back to feel things. That's kind of, ayahuasca does a lot of things. There's not like 1 or 2 things it does. There's like multiple things ayahuasca does, but it literally kind of scans your mind, body, and soul and finds out where there's darkness, where there's something that's there that isn't for your highest good, and you'll feel it. People have done, I can't speak for other people's ayahuasca experience, and every experience is different, but in a lot of those ceremonies, people are bawling and crying. They're going back because your brain, your conscious mind is so strong, and we've been so conditioned to be strong and don't feel and protect yourself, and that shit will weigh on you, man. That will weigh on you. Again, that's what creates anxiety. That's part of what creates anxiety. That's part of what creates disease. That's part of what creates all these mental health issues is suppressing those feelings, that suppressed trauma. And it's not going to go away. You got to go back to feel that. So I love that you asked that question. My answer would be breath work, specific kinds of breath work that enact a DMT release in your lungs to go to that mind and have that release. Psilocybin mushrooms are fantastic. I would just say either consult with someone that's worked with them before in a ceremonial fashion or in a fashion that they have experience in helping assist you, because they're a tool, right? It's not just like you take them and you get better. They're a tool, right? You got to go with the intention. You put your intention into that. Set and setting is very important. And on Kalami, ceremonies. Yeah, ceremonies. We utilize ceremonies. Ceremonies are very powerful for using these medicines. One of the questions on Instagram. So psilocybin mushrooms, in my experience, are fantastic for removing the numbness. Now, keep in mind, when I say remove the numbness, what I mean by that is going back to feel the feelings, right? So it's not just, in my experience, I've never seen someone just the numbness be gone. Usually you have to go back. It takes the layer of numbness off, and then it's like a scab. You like pull the scab off, right? It's like you got that damaged part, but you're going to feel it and you're going to release that energy. And when you release that energy, that's healing. That's healing that traumatic experience. That's how you do it. You got to feel it and you got to heal it. Sammy. Okay, Sammy, you asked that. Okay, I finally got it up here. I'm working with about 4 different platforms right now. But hopefully that answered your question, Sammy. And of course, DM me if you have any further questions about that. I'm so happy to go over this. Healing has literally become it's my life's purpose. It's my wife's life's purpose. Seeing my wife, knowing all the stuff she's been through and seeing how it affected her into adulthood, and then seeing her go through the wars and battles she did to finally heal herself, and the warrior she has become is amazing. So I'm dedicating my life to healing. Like, this isn't a part-time, like, this is my life is dedicated to healing. My life is dedicated to help people heal, help people find the healing they deserve. Let's see, you said, thanks so much. Yes, practice breath work. Yes, I can't speak no more about breath work. So that's DMT. This means breath. That means breathe. My other one here means breathe, right? So because breath, that's the most important thing in life, is your breath. That's all you really need, is your breath, right? Breathe. That's how you can connect to the divine, just through breath. That's one of the first things that, monks, that's one of the first lessons they're actually taught, is breath, how to control your breath. Because what happens when you get anxiety? What happens when you get nervousness? The first thing, you start to breathe hard, right? Relax and breathe. Just to take a breath and relax. It tells your whole system to calm down. And if you do that in a certain guided way, you can create DMT, which is very powerful. So I'm very interested in filling the spot this weekend. I'll be there. We'll talk about this later. Cool. Awesome. Sounds good. Again, unfortunately, I can't see who's talking to me here, but that sounds awesome. Oh, Cassie. Okay, it's working now. Awesome. Cassie, sounds wonderful. Like I said, for anyone listening, my DM's always open. I don't know everything by any means at all. All I can do is speak from my experience, but I'm blessed enough with my wife to have grown a community of about 30,000 people around the world that are on this mission to heal the world through Magical. We do facilitate really beautiful, profound ceremonies every month in Austin, and this may be our last one coming up for a little while. We'll probably do one more in April, but our big focus now is our Belize retreat. We've literally took all the exact medicines that it took us years and years and years, and tens and tens and tens and tens of thousands, nearly hundreds of thousands of dollars to figure out, by going the medical route that never worked, and going to this doctor that didn't work, and this doctor that didn't work, and then trying this medicine and this medicine. 4 or 5 years of figuring out. We took everything that actually worked for us, all the medicines that actually worked, all the meditations that worked, all the people that we've aligned with for facilitators. We put it into one badass retreat, one 11-day retreat that is going to be the most transformative experience of anyone's life that goes to this. So our big focus right now is preparing for our Belize retreat that's going to be in June 10th to 21st. So yeah, DM me if you have questions about that. We do have an early bird special again called Magic Vibes on the site. You put that in. Anyone that registers before April 10th, you get $1,100 off. So, but it's going to be a game changer. It really is. I love that. Yeah, definitely DM me. We're right in Austin, so right there with you. Is it okay to go to a psychiatrist? That's a personal question, right? And to each their own. So you're in your experience. So if you feel good about that, if I guess so, I can speak on my opinion about that, and it may not be the most popular opinion about it. But of course, that's just my experience. What is most important is you do what you feels right to you. If going to a psychiatrist helps you, then that is something you should do. That's fantastic. Me personally, I don't believe in anything in the external world in regards to doctors. I found my teachers to be within myself, the plants, plant medicines, meditation, my wife, and I have a divine team that I've kind of aligned with. I'm very anti-system, but again, this is just me. If a psychiatrist does work for you, or if you feel a call to connect with someone, absolutely fantastic. I would never down talk it because everyone's in their own experience, right? Me personally, I don't align with any doctors in any kind of system, in any form of the system. I don't align, and I will never see any doctor in any kind of system. But that's just me, right? That's just my opinion, and that's just my experience. But to each their own, right? So always go within. All the information I give you too, take it and go within. Take only what resonates with you. We're all in our own experience. We can only speak from our own experience, right? There's definitely amazing, well-intentioned doctors out there for sure. I just am, excuse me, I'm just not a fan of the system in general. I'm very anti-system. I think a lot of the foundational parts of the entire system are meant for manipulation, control, and kind of keeps us going external instead of going within. And we are all such powerful divine beings, and our answers are within us. And when I do have trouble finding my answers going within, I go to the plants. The plants have always, and when I can't figure it out, I go to the plants. And I have never gone into a plant medicine ceremony, whether it's psilocybin, whether it's ayahuasca, with a question and not come out with my answer. I haven't. It might not be the answer I wanted, but it's the answer that I needed, right? So again, to each their own, my friend, Anon Illuminati, to each their own. We've got the psychiatrist question. Just go within and see how it feels to you and make the decision that's right for you. My personal experience opinion is I would never go to a doctor in the system no matter what was going on. But that's just me. Again, that's personally me. Cool. I look forward to talking to you, Cassie. That's awesome. I just wanted to spread that message, y'all. Feel it to heal it. You don't have to live in a numb state. You can get off of any kind of pills you're on. You can heal from any kind of trauma you face. 150% you can. You got to go back. You got to do that work. Utilize these beautiful medicines. They're incredible. They're sacred. But you are the medicine too. So do the work, reprogram, and build that new story every single day. Go back to feel it and heal it, because you know what? If you go back and it's a really difficult 30 minutes, hour of processing and crying and screaming, but after that, you're light. After that, you can sleep. After that, you don't have pain. After that, you can connect with your significant other. It is worth so much. I can't put into words how much it's worth it. Okay. Anyway, I have love for you all. Hopefully you got some value with that. Any questions, DM me as always. I love getting on here. I'm going to be on here quite often this next month or so. So DM me with any questions. And again, we do have that retreat. It's going to be a very intimate gathering, June 10th to 21st. It has the 7 most powerful medicines that we know that have been so healing for people and healing in our lives, with the world-class facilitators, 20 facilitators flying in from all over the world to help facilitate this beautiful healing retreat. This will transform your life. And Joel Valdez, I was just talking to him about this, and it's a little vulnerable of a story, but I don't mind sharing. I'll never forget my first ayahuasca ceremony years ago. This was before Magical started, before we had this whole platform. And we were called to ayahuasca, and it was like thousands of dollars we didn't have at the time. But I knew Megan needed that healing, and I knew there was something there for me. I didn't know what it was, but there was something there. So I just freaking got a credit card, put it on that damn card, and took a big ass risk. And I went, and it was the best decision I ever made in my life. I saw my wife have demons removed from her. I saw her heal to a significant extent. I saw beauty. I saw purging, and I was given the gift from Mother Ayahuasca of exactly how to start Magical. We left that ayahuasca ceremony, started Magical. The podcast took off. The freaking group took off. I made way more than I ever put on the freaking credit card to go to ayahuasca. It was the best decision. It was a test. It was a test because I wasn't in a position to do it, but it was a test, and I'm forever grateful I made that decision. So any questions, let me know. Much love to you all. Feel it to heal it. Feel it to heal it. Have a wonderful evening, everybody. Happy